Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and joining me here today for day 12 of our 30-day challenge. Can you believe that? We are almost halfway there. I am so impressed and I'm so grateful for all of the comments I've gotten both here on the channel and in personal emails and in DMs on Instagram. If you want to reach out for any reason, feel free to do so. All of that information should be in the description below. If you don't follow me on Instagram or wherever, you can find that there. But I certainly hope you've been enjoying everything. Now I know this week's a hard one, just like the week before. It's meant to be challenging, don't you worry. This is a Pilates Yoga Fusion Class that we kind of combine that rolling like a ball and a forward fold, kind of a very fun, silly thing. So if you're laughing at yourself out there, know that I do that all the time, and honestly, that's my goal, to get you to smile while you move and groove with me here on my channel. So roll out your mat and let's get started. We are starting standing near the top of our mat. Feet can be together or about hip distance. Honestly, if it feels better to even open them a little bit wider than your mat, that's okay too. Do what works for you. But let's just let our hands hang heavy by our side. Maybe close your eyes for a minute. Stand a little taller, a little straighter. Notice what's going on through your body. Do we feel a little tight anywhere? Are we feeling a little sore? Maybe a little happier from our self-care Sunday yesterday? But take a moment and stand up a little bit taller and straighter, ever so lightly dipping the chin to the chest just so we can lengthen through our cervical spine. Eyes can stay closed, or we can lightly blink them open. But take a big inhale, swim your hands up, and I want you to reach longer. Grow all the way as tall as you possibly can. Almost envision me holding onto your wrist and pulling them up while your feet are grounding down to the ground. Take a breath. Flip the palms, press them down. Inhale, swim the hands up. Exhale, press down. 2 more times, big inhale, hands up. Exhale, lower down. Last one, hands lift nice and high. Pull that low belly up and in. And then we're going to dive forward. Now, if you need to bend your knees, that's great if we can keep them straight, but I want you to think of reaching your heart forward and then slowly rounding down. If we immediately need to soften those knees so we can drop our head, that's okay. Hands can come to the ground, to our shins, to our thighs, or you could even grab hold behind your body if that feels nice, kind of making your body a little ball. And then take another breath. Let it go. I just want us to soften here. Nod the head, shake it yes and no. Maybe wiggle the hips a little side to side. And then do bend the knees if they aren't already. Bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. Press away, lift your head towards the wall in front of you. Reach your sitting bones towards the wall behind you. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press away. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more times, press out and away. Exhale, let it go. Last time, press away and stay. If this is too much for us here, do what you need to. If you really wanted, you could go up to a wall to give yourself a little support, but I then want us to take our hands to the tops of our thighs and take your right hand on your left thigh as you straighten your right leg. Now, if we don't straighten all the way, that's okay, but what I want you to think about is pressing that right hip back and growing longer through that right side body, and then rebend both knees, square off the hips. Hands to opposite thigh, same thing, press that hip back. Find a little bit more length through the back of your left leg. Press it back. If it feels nice to go side to side once or twice more, sometimes this is one of those poses where I can hang out for a while. It just feels good on the back of my thighs. But if it's too much for us today, no worries, no problem at all. Bring it back, take a big inhale, and then forward fold again. Bend your knees and slowly roll yourself up. Let those fingertips be heavy, almost as if you're holding some weights in front of you. Slowly stand up tall, stand up straight. Take a moment and notice what has changed in our body just from a little movement. A little can go a long way. If they aren't already, do bring your feet to touch inner thighs, pressing towards one another, and let's sit back in a chair pose. All I want you to do from here is keep lifting that low belly up and in, lengthening through the small part of your back, reaching your hips a little bit further down. Almost imagine you're holding a great big heavy present. Give it a big squeeze. Reach those fingertips out and away. Now it's like, again, I'm holding onto your wrists and I'm pulling them away, while at the same time you're trying to reach your sitting bones to a little imaginary chair behind you. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Let it go. Bend the knees. Roll yourself up to standing. One more time, sit back, find that chair pose, again, stay. It's like you're trying to grow as long as you possibly can from the top of your hip to your bottommost rib. Big deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Now from here, we're gonna step back into a great big lunge. Bend your knees lightly and step your left foot behind you, or right, you can do whatever side you need to. But find that lunge. Now, if you've got a soft bend in your knee, or if you need to set your knee down immediately, that's okay. I've got tiny little dino arms myself, so tenting my fingertips is always a good option, or using blocks would probably be a better option for me, but I don't have my blocks with me, so this is what I'm doing right now. If you do have longer arms, then you can fully put them on the earth. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, see if you can relax your face. Sometimes starting with relaxing that face helps to relax the rest of our body. Press your heel towards the ground behind you. Find that great big lunge. Take a big, deep, full inhale. And then if you haven't already, do set the knee down. Now, I personally like to always untuck my toes when my knee is on the floor so I can press into the top of my foot and relieve pressure from the top of my knee. At this point, do put the whole hand on the ground and lift your other hand up for a big, giant twist. Enjoy that lovely stretch. Hold here. Maybe even think about reaching your hand behind you or even circling the hand around. I am all for creative movement, so do what works for you. When you're ready, let that hand return to the ground. Tuck your toe. You're going to take a big inhale, and as you exhale, use a big hop and propel yourself into that forward fold again. Wiggle those hips. Sway it around if you like. When you're ready, bend your knees and step the opposite foot back. And once more, we're in our little lunge here, or a big lunge, just depending on your body. What feels, little to me is sometimes big to others, or vice versa. We're all a little different. No one size fits all here. And you might want to rock back and forth. You might want to think about pulling your heels towards your toes, finding that lift between your inner thighs. And then as you feel ready, drop the knee down just as we did on the other side. Press the whole of your hand into the earth while we lift and lengthen. Give those fingers a little wiggle, roll around. Find any and all movement that's calling to you. Take a big breath. Set that hand back down. Tuck the toe, lift the knee. And again, it's that great big hop, or kind of a big hop to propel yourself into that forward fold. Let that head be heavy. Swivel out the hips. Nod a little bit. Bend the knees and roll yourself all the way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Now, tuck that chin to chest, bend the knees, slowly roll yourself all the way down. Bend the knees, roll yourself all the way up. Now this week is about rolling. And do you notice that this is very similar if we were lying on our back? It's just kind of the reverse of lifting our legs and rolling through our spine to take those legs over our head. Versus now, we're using our back, we're using our upper body to roll that head around instead, up and down. Now this last time, I want you to bend your knees, roll down into our forward fold, and hold. Now in this forward fold, I want you to deeply bend your knees. You're going to take a big inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees more. Make your body a little tiny circle. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach your hips up. Exhale, bend the knee, curl through your body. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. 2 more times, just like that. You've got this. Now this next time, make yourself a teeny tiny little ball and we're going to roll onto our back and we're going to feel really silly and that's okay. I like to lift up my heels and make myself a tiny little ball and we're going to go all the way down onto our back. And we might have plopped down and that's okay, but we're coming onto our back, bringing our feet in line with our sitting bones, hands out in a little V or a little T so we can open up across our shoulders. From here, imprint the spine. Remember, that means to press the small of the back down. Take a big inhale. Lift your right leg up. Set that foot down. Exhale, lift the left leg up. Set that foot down. Lift the right. Once or twice more, side to side at your own pace. No hurry, no rush. And then from here, I want you to even yourself out and take your right foot back up. Take that right foot up, hold it in place. Bring the left to meet the right. Pull your knees in and make yourself a teeny tiny little ball. And can we rock and roll on our back? Can we find a little action, a little massage, using that momentum? And from here, can we rock and roll ourselves so much that we go back up into our forward fold when you're ready? And guess what? If you don't do it properly, that's okay. But here we go, all the way into our forward fold. If you feel ridiculous, that's okay. If you need to laugh at yourself, good. That's what I'm going for. Bend those knees slowly, one vertebra at a time. Roll yourself all the way back up to standing. Shoulders back, belly button in, engage the inner thighs, sit back in your chair pose. Reach the fingertips longer away, send those sitting bones back, take a big deep inhale. As you exhale, flip the palms, press them open, find a little T shape like we were doing when we were seated, or lying down. Inhale, take the hands up. Exhale, flip the palms, press them down. Inhale, tone the belly, lift up. Exhale, press it down. One more time, reach and lengthen. Now this time, same thing, open those arms, but dive forward. Find that forward fold, bend the knees. We're gonna step back into our lunge again. Let's start with our left leg reaching all the way back behind us. And it might be a little bit bigger than the first time. Maybe it's a little smaller, a little more shallow. That's okay. Your choice. What is calling to you? A little movement, maybe stillness. From here, 3 times I want you to touch your knee to the ground. Exhale, press through the heel to straighten. Inhale, touch. Exhale, press through, straighten. Last one, touch. Press through, straighten, hold. And then if we're in the mood, maybe this time, inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend. That might be too much. Maybe we barely straighten and that's enough of a stretch. Maybe we can straighten all the way. You do you. Last one, reach the hips back, bring it forward, and then bend and hop. Use that motion to return to your forward fold. Bend the knees. Step the opposite foot back. Same thing here from the other side. We can hold, we might want to move and groove, or if we're ready, kiss the knee down, exhale, press through the heel to straighten. Kiss the knee down, squeeze your little that thigh butt area, straighten. One more time, down, straighten, hold. Think belly button up and in, shoulders nice and broad. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, rebend. Last one, straighten, rebend, hold for a moment, big deep inhale, and hop yourself forward. Nod the head, shake it around a little bit, bend the knees, and slowly roll yourself up. One more time, let's sit back and find our chair pose, low belly up and in, big inhale. Exhale, press the hands down. Inhale, rise them up. Exhale, swim through a little bit of water. Use those muscles to bring the hands down. Inhale, lift them up. Last one, press them down. Reach it up. And this time, dive forward. Just like we did before, let's bend and straighten our knees a couple of times, making ourselves a teeny tiny little ball. And up. Little teeny tiny ball.
and up. Now this time, make yourself a teeny tiny little ball, and instead of coming all the way down to our back, we're just going to take a seat.
Maybe that was graceful, maybe that was awkward. That's okay either way. Hands behind your thighs. Roll the shoulders, sit tall, sit straight. Lift your head a little bit higher. Take a great big inhale. Exhale, tip the pelvis back. Rock into a lovely little C curve. If this is enough, stay right here. Walk the feet a little bit closer together. Think of sealing your inner thighs towards one another. Take a big breath. Press into your thigh to lift your leg up. Drop it down. Press into your opposite thigh, pick up that leg, drop it down. Back and forth at your own pace. You're doing so well. You know what? If this is not enough, we could take our hands out. Do what you need to do. I will say I don't like it when people put their fingertips down on the ground in this one because I see we have a tendency to kind of curl in. So hands either behind the thighs or out in front of you. Those are the two options I prefer best. Now, go ahead, lift your right leg, keep it there. Hand can come back behind that thigh if we need it. It could stay out and bring the left to meet the right. Look at that boat pose, that teaser, that navasana, whatever you want to call it, so many names. Are we gripping through our hips? Tone that belly more if you are. Seal your inner thighs towards one another. Squeeze your thud even here. If this is not enough, stay right here. If we want to take it up a notch, could we reach our toes and head away? Exhale, pull it in. Reach those toes and head away. Exhale, pull it in. One more time. You got this. Reach it out. Pull it in, hold. Now comes the fun part. We're going to rock and roll again up into our forward fold. 3 rock and rolls. Here we go. Pull those knees and go back and forth for 3 and 2. Last one, use all the oomph you need to return to that forward fold. Beautiful. Momentum can get you everywhere. When you engage the belly with the momentum, even better. I'm going to open my feet out about as wide as my hips and let my head hang a little heavier. Maybe bend the knees if we need to. Wherever you are, though, I want you to think of shining your sitting bones up to the sky. If they're pointing down, we're not getting a very big stretch through our hamstrings. The more you can think of sitting bones up to the sky, the bigger of a lengthening action we can get in those sitting bones or in those hamstrings. No hurry, no rush. Big deep inhale. Bend the knees. Slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing. Walk your feet together again. Pull that belly button up and in. Seal your inner thighs. Sit back in your chair pose. Now, this time, I want you to press the hands down and pick up your right heel, getting a little stretch through the sole of your foot, and then set it down. Same thing, other side. Set it down. Once or twice more to each side. Exhale as you press. Inhale as you lift. Challenge, if you'd like to, maybe 2 or 3 times, both heels down, or both heels up, both heels down, both heels up, both heels down. Last one, both heels up. Take a big breath. Set it down and forward fold one more time. Let that head be soft and heavy. No hurry, no rush. Bend the knees. Swivel those hips side to side. And then one more time, we're going to come all the way down onto our back. So bend the knees, make yourself a teeny tiny little ball, and let's see how slow and steady we can roll ourselves down. So grab your legs if you can and slowly roll all the way down. Set your feet on the floor. Reach your hands away over your head. Let's open our feet a little bit wider than our hips, maybe about as wide as the mat, and maybe knock the knees in. Now, depending on your body, you might have a lot or a little of internal rotation. I don't have very much, which means it's hard for my knees to actually touch, but I just kind of point them towards one another. Hands can stay over our head, or we could open them out to that T again. Really, whatever feels better in your upper body right now. But take a little windshield wiper of your legs, side to side. And then walk the feet in, press the small of your back down, point your nose straight up to the sky, hands by your side, tip the pelvis, slowly lift up, find your bridge pose. You might have to adjust your head a little. Sometimes my bun gets in the way and I have to move a little extra. That's okay.
Hair can get in the way. I know that feeling. Squeeze your thought a little bit more. Smile. Hopefully our bridge feels good. It's one of those poses where, if I'm being quite honest, I could just hang out here probably for a good 45 minutes if I really wanted to. But I like opening up through the front of my hip. Now right now my ribs are trying to remain closed. They do have a habit of splaying, so don't splay even if I am. Take one more breath. Roll it all the way down. Let's kick up one leg, cross it over, find a little figure 4. Now I like to actively flex my foot that is crossed. So right now that's my right leg, but if you're doing the other side, no biggie. Sometimes it feels nice to be totally still, or I like to sway a little bit. Or 2 other options. One, lifting up into that bridge again, opening up through the hips. Or of course, probably we've all done it before, where we lift up our bottom leg and thread our hands through, giving yourself an extra hug, an extra squeeze. Drop that down when you're ready, unravel. Same thing, other leg crosses. Enjoy that lovely little stretch. Maybe we're still, maybe we wiggle. Maybe we lift up into that bridge once more. Drop it down. Thread lift. Give it any little movement you like. And then eventually unravel your whole body. Take up a little bit more space. Maybe open the hands out a little wider than your mat. Close your eyes for just a moment. Take a big, deep, full inhale. Great big sigh out. Take a moment here and just think about how far you come already in our 30-day challenge. Know that I am so incredibly proud of you, and I'm so excited that you're here. But more than anything, I hope that you are proud of you. Whether you've stuck with it every single day, you've skipped around, or today is even your first day, there is no judgment. Remember, it is about progress, not perfection. Take one more big breath. Let it go. And eventually we can roll ourselves over to one side, push yourself up to a seat. And as always, a big pat on the back, a big thank you for doing something so good and just for you. I certainly hope you enjoyed class today, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.